Good morning, and I hope you're as excited.
We have a number of programs to run during these practice sessions. You can check the details in the car monitor. We'll get good data for both the race.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top three. Hamilton, Raikkonen. We'd like to welcome you from wherever in the world you join us today for this F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China. I was looking at some highlights of previous races here, and the one thing that really stood out to me was the run down to turn one. It's not an easy one to navigate as everyone is scrapping to get into there first.
It's the scene of many incidents as drivers jostle for position. You have to make a choice between going for it and self-preservation. There's no point in going in hot if you don't come out intact the other side. Even if you're at the front, you will be worrying about the guys behind you.
is all set then for the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top 3. Test their skill, and a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and overtaking is available into turn 1 and of course down the kilometre-long back straight into the hairpin at turn 14. Joining me once again to take you through this race is the effervescent Anthony Davidson, and I'm very much looking forward to it getting underway. You raced here, of course, didn't you, back in your Super Aguri days in that infamous Chinese Grand Prix of 2007?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't last that long though, unfortunately. Qualifying had gone pretty well, but my brakes failed quite early in the race, around lap 10 or 11, something like that. And of course, back in 2004, I was the very first Formula 1 driver to complete a lap of this circuit. Just thought I'd mention that for you, Crofty. You like a good stat. It's a fairly tough circuit on the brakes here, though. You know, there's that long back straight down into turn 14, and then you got turn 6 and 11. They're quite heavy as well. On top of that, managing your front tyre wear is always a challenge around here, so there's a lot to keep in mind during the Grand Prix.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Kimi Raikkonen's perfect lap yesterday sees him start from pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Renault and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Perez, Massa and Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Kvyat, Romain Grosjean and Hulkenberg, Ocon, Magnussen, Stoffel Van Dorn and Lance Stroll, Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes then are on top today. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent...
Let me know you're okay.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Verstappen.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
The weather hasn't been ideal in qualifying. What's your take on it? It's got to be a relief to qualify that far up the grid. How are you finding things at your new team? Are you settling in? Appreciate your time.
Well done. Very solid result. You're looking good for the race.
Welcome to the 2020 Formula One World Championship. Here we are at the first race in what should be another thrilling season. I think the action this year will be very, very close. But as always with F1, you can never be too sure. Anyway, let's get started. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 metres long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan corner. With DRS down the main straight into the braking zone, that could be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bailey, Perez, Valtteri Bottas, and Albon, Vettel, Stroll, Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz. Norris, Gasly, Nick de Vries, and Kvyat, Magnussen, Ocon, Nobuharu Matsushita, and Kimi Raikkonen. Russell and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. By 0.5 per lap. That brings you up a place. That's a race win. You've really been great today.
Renault have pulled off a sublime performance to secure the top step of the podium today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Once again it's podium time and once again it's a clear win for Renault. Renault have seen their fair share of success in Formula One and today is proof that they've still got what it takes to thrill us all. Congratulations to everyone on the team. Let's see how the driver standings have changed.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy.
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it? Did you have the wrong fuel strategy today, or was it your management? You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you? Are you missing your old team? Appreciate your time.
Our new parts have been completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.